All right, here we go. Welcome to our safe space.
My safe space.
Right, this is Yvette's safe space. If you do not know, first of all, let's get to the point. Right,
Yes, get to
I'm
the
gonna
point.
introduce myself because some of you guys may be new here. My name is Glenn Henry, and I go by Beleaf. The channel is called Beleaf and Fatherhood. This is my lovely wife.
I'm introducing myself. My name is Yvette Henry. I go by Mrs. Melanin.
Yeah.
That's not my rap name or anything. It's just who I am, I guess.
And we are basically going to just kind of discuss how we feel after, our children had a racial experience. Yeah, that's a better
That's
way
what
to say
we're
it.
calling it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's the best way to say it. And so I think that after we had this experience, we put it out, and the messages we were getting were so intense and deep and heartfelt in the emails and stuff like that. But not too many people asked how we are doing. So I wanted to ask, how are you doing?
Dang.
Yeah.
I know. Stop. No, I'm not going to.
You already did.
I know. You can edit it out.
That's the thumbnail. Go ahead. Sorry. How are you?
I'm not completely well, but I am okay. There's so much more. So it's like, just kind of like going back to Thursday when that happened and thinking about the fact that I was not there. I think that's kind of like that's probably like the one thing that's really a bummer to me, is that it wasn't something that I could like be there present for. And for me, it was just a huge, I don't know if you want to call it reminder, that I will not always be able to cover my boys, like to protect them, to protect my children from all of the like hurt and harm that they are going to experience in the world. And when I say hurt or harm, I mean intentional or otherwise, like intentional or unintentional. But yeah, it was I'm okay. I am sad that the kids had to experience what they experienced. I am proud of us. Like, I do believe that, I don't know if you guys remember, but like the conversation that we had last summer, that we shared with everybody, where we talked to the boys in the garage about, what happened to George Floyd, to an extent that we felt like was appropriate for each of their age levels at that point. And we even had the conversation with them individually so that they could process it how they needed to process it in that moment. And I didn't want to have that conversation. I was completely not for it, but
you ended up leading it.
because I wanted to be able to like care for their heart in the way that they were, and the way that the information was being shared with them. And so when we like fast forward from that conversation to the conversation that we had last week about what they experienced at the park, I was like grateful. I was grateful that like you said, babe, this conversation has to happen. I was proud of us for having the conversation and having it as a point of reference for the boys, so that this time where they were experiencing it firsthand wasn't the first time that they were having a talk like that. I was proud of us for having literature in our home that the boys could, or the kids could refer back to and be like, this book made me feel good about my skin. Can we read that right now? Like the fact that Theo, like at one point during the conversation, you guys can't see that, but at one point during the conversation, I saw Theo get up from where we were and go look on the bookshelf for a book. And I knew exactly what book he was looking for. And then at some point he was like, Sulwe or Raya, I don't remember who figured it out, but they're like, Sulwe. And so I helped, like I got that book and we read it. And it was just a reminder that like, even though we look different, or even though like us in particular, we have darker skin, it's still beautiful and it's still something to be proud of. There is still, like, God was purposeful when he chose Theophilus Patrick Henry and Uriah Bowe Henry to have the skin that they have.
Yeah, and just so you, like, just to reiterate too, like, we don't look different. Like,
yeah,
we look normal.
No, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just to say that. And then shout out to Lupita Nyong'o because that book's fire. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I like the book. I didn't realize how the book was going to help them.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of get these books and kind of like,
yeah,
all right, I know that was a little weird, but it was cool. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then they're kind of like, nah, I need that.
yeah.
So yeah, it's really dope.
Because like with books like that, at one point in the story, like she shares about how she like would try to erase her skin or put on her mom's foundation or whatever. And so it's kind of like, oh shoot, this book is kind of putting ideas in our children's head. But at the same time, it's also like it's those ideas are kind of coming to the surface, but at the same time it's reaffirming their skin. Like it's like,
well, the end of the book is like she walks,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, she walks in her skin very confidently and loves how beautiful she is and all those things. But I think the highlight there is that she's comparing herself to other people.
Yes.
Which I think people do all the time. The kids
Yes.
compare themselves to each other. They compare themselves to their friends. They know the difference between hair types and
Yeah.
skin color and all that stuff. So yeah, like I think that yeah. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I mean, that was pretty much it. I'm just like proud of the job that we are doing. Like, not only do we have those books or did we have that talk, but on a regular basis, we affirm our children and we walk in our skin proud. Like, I think the confidence that we have looking the way that we do or whatever is just like, they have that. And so it just speaks to me like volumes, the importance of like the nurturing that takes place within the home. And so while I am sad, while I am bummed, I will tell y'all, like on Thursday, I was like, man, oh man, like on Thursday. So it happened. I get the call from Lexi, the boys get home, we have the conversation. And then Thursdays are like my night off. So like I usually just go do whatever I want to do. I don't remember what I did that Thursday. Oh, I think I went to the beach and probably watched the sunset. And I think that time, like I thought I was okay. And then I like got a moment to be alone and in my thoughts and in my head. And it just all came like, oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot. And it was like one of those things where it's like, I can't always be there to protect my kids. I have to make sure that they are solid in who they are and that they are equipped for moments such as the one that they experienced on Thursday. I was bummed about like the fact that a child could say something and then that message be relayed to other children. And it just was like my hope. And like, you know, we just experienced this huge uproar in 2020 and it was like, okay, people are getting enlightened. People are waking up. They're seeing things for what they are. They're like trying to make a difference in their homes. And then it was like, oh shoot, it's not getting better. Like my 6 and 8-year-old child are like trying to enjoy themselves at a playground. And then this happens. And you guys, like, I don't think that little boy was trying to be malicious. And I don't think that his mom, taught him that.
Point still got across to my children that black people were bad. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what we're fighting here. And so I'm sure you guys are enjoying Yvette just communicate, because you guys really don't get to hear her like that. You know what I mean? Unless you subscribe to Yvette Unplugged, or you have been following How Married Are You. But this is her space. This is the Yvette Unplugged space, which is really just the other wall in the office. As you can see,
Yes.
she took a little bit more time
I
getting her
did.
stuff together. And so, but yeah, the go ahead.
How are you doing?
Oh,
How are you doing?
I am too strong right now. I'm not. I like. I've had moments where I've kind of broken down. You know what I mean? But it's been like, I could have used like a good 13-minute cry and sob, but I probably lasted like 25 seconds. Just because I mean, and I've been dealing with a lot for a while. You know what I'm saying? And I've been trying to kind of communicate about mental health and how like hard it's been, just from a business owner's perspective and a creative's perspective, a husband's perspective, and then my father. But now to be this like community person, you know what I'm saying? To where, you know, my platform is being looked at weird. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I'm not doing great, you know what I'm saying? But I've been worse. You know what I mean? And that's not safe. Like I really miss my community of brothers I used to do Bible study with. You know, Jimmy, JR, Timothy, like, you know, Javier, Mikkel, all the homies. Like I miss like getting together with them and just talking Christian, like just talking it out, because that was like a space where it's kind of like, hey y'all, you know what I'm saying? And we just kind of like, but we always encouraged each other. We always prayed for each other. We always loved on each other. And I miss that. And like, that's the type of stuff that COVID kind of took away in a weird way. Even though I was kind of like, man, what are we going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have time for this, but now I know how valuable that is.
Yeah.
So,
That's really good to hear you say.
yeah. And through like, you know, in therapy, I know that like, I definitely need more outlets. And even talking to you, I'm kind of like, no, you're not enough. I need to talk to somebody else. And you know, I think that's been something that we've been definitely trying to maneuver through. But how I'm doing, like, I'm doing okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm doing okay. Not great. You know what I'm saying? Just okay. And I'm very proud of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of you know, for you kind of communicating, you know, everything you've been communicating with me in the last few days. And then being, you know, open to having conversations here and there. But I think at this point, like, I've always kind of seen our family as like mostly priority, you know what I'm saying, over everything else. And that to me, this whole experience just kind of reaffirms kind of like, it's kind of just us. Like we kind of all we got, you know what I mean? So we wanted to kind of discuss real quick before time runs out.
How's time gonna run out?
It's only
Oh.
we kind of want to discuss real quick because we do know that this family, or we do know that the parties involved were not, you know, malicious in their intent. I think that, you know, some cool things. I don't know if you have notes, but I think some
do
cool
have
things to
notes.
kind of like, you know, moving forward. One of the messages we got from the community was like, this is exactly why I don't want to bring children into this world. Like, I don't, as a black parent, I do not want to have children, right? That was the message we got from people. And so I just want to let you know that I feel like it was very important for us to share our experience, because you like have all the tools you need and you're watching us go through it, so you don't have to go through it blind. You know, you can say, hey, I wouldn't have said that, I wouldn't have did this, or I would have loved to you to say this or whatever, but you can still make those decisions. But I don't think you should rob yourself of like family and children because of stupidity. You know what I'm saying? Like, in ignorance. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it's okay to have children. You know what I mean? And telling children the truth is very difficult. But as you can see, with our children, they're adorable and they are fine. You know, Theo actually,
So they're probably the most resilient
yeah,
human beings on earth.
yeah,
Children.
yeah. And so like, you know, like even like that very same day, Theo like made his first vlog, and we posted on Patreon. But Theo made his first vlog, and it was like, hey guys, welcome to my web channel. You know what I'm saying? Just like,
hey guys, welcome to my web channel. I'm about to show you how we have fun in mom and dad's room. Okay?
chill and cool and not even like tripping. And so I think one thing, if I could do differently throughout this whole thing is, you know, I think I would go to the park. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I felt like I was very in my feelings and like wanting to get to the park to solve the problem. But
Oh, you're saying you would have left the house?
I wanted to go
Oh
to
my
the
gosh,
park.
guys. This man, like Alexi hadn't even gotten anything out. He just heard her on the phone crying and he already had his shoes and was like out the door. Out the door. I like was literally on the phone with her trying to get information and chasing him like, come back. She's on her way home. And yeah, like that was a question because I did ask on my own social platform. I was like, what is it that you guys still want to know? And people were asking like, how would you have handled this situation if you were there? And I don't know if that's even something we really want to like spend time on. But the crazy thing is like, I know for a fact that Glenn and I would have handled it two different ways as well. Like him and I.
Yeah, my question would have been, who baby this?
Yeah.
One of y'all baby over here being very disrespectful. Who one of y'all, who this belong to?
If you watch How Married Are You, I think we have a whole episode on that.
Who baby this?
Oh man. Yeah.
What about your notes?
Oh. Okay. So I don't even know. I'm like, I feel like I could go all over the place. I really wanted to be more organized in how we talk to you guys. But Cicely Tyson, thank the Lord. Like this is another, oh my gosh, can you see it? This is another example of how important it is to be able to tell your story. Because our children had Solway as an example, you know, like they could go back and recall that story and they're like, you know, whatever. Cicely Tyson, before she died, wrote a book. And I'm going to read a paragraph to you guys just to show you, like, just to kind of communicate to you some things. And here, and if you watch Yvette Unplugged, y'all know I read a lot. So here it is. It's no wonder that many African Americans carry a lingering distrust of whites, even those we sincerely love and embrace. Given the horrors of our abuse in this nation, we are understandably wary to ever heal these deep racial traumas, and seldom has it felt more urgent than that we do. We must acknowledge that they indeed still exist, throbbing and tender beneath the surface, spilling over like molten rage into the streets. As difficult as it is to recall this country's atrocities, it is essential that every American of every color does. It is crucial that we connect that centuries-long ugly history with, in our times now, a cop's knee on George Floyd's neck and bullets riddling Breonna Taylor's body. The line from our nation's original sin to its present heartache is not faint and dotted. It is solid and direct. And even when the impulse arises to cringe and look away from a system predicated on Black oppression, a system that is still doing precisely what it was designed to do, we must stare into the face of our past and examine what happened here on our soil. Much of it less than a lifetime ago, a lot of it happening now. Turning a blind eye to our history has not saved us from its consequences. Okay. The reason I am sharing this story is because I believe that Cicely Tyson gave us a call to action. And the call to action is to acknowledge the past while trying to walk things out in the present and make things better for the future. And so with that being said, I have had many conversations with many parents who have been like, I don't want to talk to my kids about race. I just want to talk to them about loving everybody.
We do too. We want to have the same conversation.
We want to have that exact same conversation. However, that is
impossible.
It's obviously it's not something that we can really allow to happen.
Yeah. So if you refuse to have the conversation and you want it just to be about love, then you're giving someone else the permission to have the conversation, or what was miscommunicated to them, or what was just heard in passing. So that's why it's important to tell people the truth about what you believe. We're all preaching, you know what I'm saying, something. We're all being proof of what we actually believe. And so if you believe that like love is the key, love is the answer, and all you got to do is operating in love, well, your love better be pretty strong when someone says something contrary to what you believe, and then that's all you got left is just love them, You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes like the passiveness of our humanity gets in the way of like the loving part of who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets lost in translation, because I understand like some people are just passive, they don't want to deal with it, and it's like, that's awesome, that's great for you. And some people have even said like, man, my parents have never had this conversation with me and I turned out fine. You know what I'm saying? But did you? But did you turn out fine? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you did turn out fine, and maybe you just never had to experience it, and that's amazing, that's great. But more people deal with it than not. You know what I'm saying? We're not crazy.
And I think too, like the scary part of like, not the scary part, but the unfortunate part of like that, those people who are like, hey, my parents never had this conversation with me and I turned out fine, is that sometimes when incidents like this happen, then there is like this lack of empathy for someone who experiences it.
That's privilege.
Yeah. And so sometimes like miscommunication and false, or like, what did you call it? Whatever, can leave people hurt. And that hurt needs to be validated. That hurt needs to be acknowledged. And like, I just think that these types of conversations can kind of help empathy along.
But here's the thing is, I don't think it's other people's responsibility to validate our feelings. Like, I think we need to stop like trying to make sure like, hey, you hurt me. Like, cool, you stay over there. Like, this is what I believe in my soul.
Okay, tell us, babe.
Right? Love does not mean access.
Ooh, give me my keep your love on book.
Love does not mean access. If you love me, that doesn't mean you could be around me.
Keep your love on. This says love or work.
You know what I'm saying? And forgiveness, my sister and I were talking.
Oh my gosh.
Forgiveness does not mean trust.
Spitting bars. Can we take a moment? Snap fingers.
Love does not mean access, and forgiveness does not mean trust.
Say it again, babe.
You know
one more time.
Love does not mean access, and forgiveness does not mean trust.
And that's it.
So if you, just because I love you, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't mean that you have a right to know me. You have a right, you know what I'm saying? If you like, that doesn't mean that
you better tell them.
You don't have to be we don't have to be in community together. You know what I'm saying? None of that.
Amen, brother.
And even if I forgive you, that doesn't mean you still have the right to come into my life and do the same thing. Like, you do not. I don't trust you. I forgive you. You know what I'm saying? It's no hard feelings and all that. You know what I mean? But I can't like allow you back into my life to do it again. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. And all that to say, like, if you're a white parent and you are trying to have these conversations and navigate it, just know that, you don't have to take my advice. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be anybody to you, but I do feel like there, are some tips, you know what I mean? Like, we suggest, just like we did with our children, not having the conversation in a group. So if you're going to talk about race, I think you should have it at an age appropriate level. When we talked up to our children about, George Floyd and all the stuff that happened with that whole time last year, it was very traumatizing for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But we still had the conversation separately. Even though our kids are 17 months apart, there are different maturity levels. So we had to make sure they were able to at least ask any clarifying questions that they wanted to ask.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I feel like even if they are twins, the way that we as individuals process information is different. And so I think having the conversations individually with your children, no matter what age they are or whatever, is valuable. Like, Glenn and I we process things differently. We are now adults, so we could probably have a conversation in a group, but for children, I do think it is important to be mindful of that part too.
You know, also, if your children happen to come across this or see this or this happens to them, I would like really just give them the length and time to just communicate all of their feelings and just wait till they stop talking, wait till they stop asking questions. I think that's one thing I didn't know we were doing, but we just always were kind of like, we're going to sit here, stop everything and just sit here and talk until we figure this out. So like that Tuesday, whatever that day was, Thursday, I had basically like canceled whatever I was about to do and she was like, okay, this is what I'm focusing on today. And that lets the kids know like, hey, like I'm stopping for you because this is very important. Mm-hmm. That was one of my big fears about, you know, like sending the kids to school. And it originally was kind of like, you know, if my child was to ask, why am I black? The teacher don't got time to answer that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like those are real questions, you know? Mm-hmm. And so like for that one reason alone, it's kind of like, you don't get the permission to tell. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And here's another thing, man. Like really important for us as a community, protect your energy. Not everyone deserves your ear. Not everyone deserves your attention. You know what I'm saying? And so don't allow people the space to communicate with you if they are not safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you need to be a safe haven for your children and yourself. Everybody does not need to know your story. And I feel like we're taking a lot of shots, you know, so that you don't have to, you know what I mean? And not so much like trying to put ourselves up on a pedestal, but man, it's real out here. Like this is not easy for us to navigate through, you know what I mean? So I would just really protect yourself and just know that like, yo, some people, you know what I'm saying? Some people, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's just people. And I'm, you know, one of the better things that's kind of irritating about me is that like, I don't be judging people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be like, maybe they just, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I give people the benefit of the doubt. I hope the best for them. You know what I mean? And sometimes in my initial moment, I get upset and emotional. But overall, like, I am very much for everybody. And I don't believe it's anybody else's responsibility to take care of my children. But you know, us, you know? And so I don't trust people with my children. You know what I'm saying? Very loosely like that. But I'm very proud of Lexi for how she handled everything. And you guys kept saying, shout out Lexi, a real one and all that. You know, but, you know, I think that, you know, even caring for Lexi's heart, like, yo, like, this is kind of what happens. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry that she had to deal with it. Yeah. Because it's like, she didn't never have to experience nothing like that. You know what I mean? And so, but you know what's cool is I am glad this is like their first experience because I feel like it's light. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like you talking about our parents getting rocks thrown at them and all types of stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like they're dealing with it in a different way, but it's still like lingering. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, man. I hope this is encouraging. I know this is kind of longer than what we usually do. I hope that you found some type of peace in this content. And you know, we just want you to know, like, we are doing okay. You know what I'm saying? And Yvette says she's not well. I said I'm doing okay. But as a family, I think we're doing pretty good.
Our children are doing fine. Mm-hmm. They are thriving. They are,
as much as we know, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like part of me wants to be like, hey, how are you guys doing? Like, is that still in your mind? Like, we don't know what thoughts are lingering from that day, and it's like, do we bring it up or do we just let them be? And I don't know. I guess we'll have to figure that out as time goes on. But I said I'm not well, but I think it's just more so like the thoughts that I'm having about people and whatever. So yeah, I think Glenn, I'm just grateful. He's right. Like his heart for people is actually really big.
But that doesn't always play to my strength.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And that's true. But I'm just like, I'm still grateful. And that's what I'm saying, how we all process things differently. Like, I'm grateful for the perspective that you offer me. Because you're right. Like, forgiveness doesn't equal trust. It doesn't equal access. And And yeah, you can still love people from afar. So
Yeah, and I don't know how our kids feel about going to the park again.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they.
And that was like one of their favorite parks.
Yeah, and so like I don't know like how the children are gonna feel being like seeing somebody. And I think it's gonna take a little bit of time, but it might be that initial like, I'm good. I'll play by myself. No thanks. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good.
The crazy thing is they weren't even supposed to be at the park that day. Like that morning, their music class got canceled, and it's just like the whole way that day worked out is just crazy, y'all.
But I do think it looked out for the community and the culture's benefit. You know what I'm saying? And even our children's benefit. Like I do believe that this is a strengthening moment, not a. I don't think they see themselves as victims.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't see myself as a victim. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like a victim? All right.
Man.
Yeah, guys. So we just wanted to take a moment, man.
Yeah. Protect your energy for sure. Like, oh, that's a word. Protect your energy.
Yeah, and we're gonna move forward. So there are some things kind of pending, mental health wise for me, and so you know, I know the Good Father season has been going on for a while, and so we're gonna kind of summarize that, and finish that up in the next couple videos, and then I know we don't be posting consistently, but we need a break bad. Like I need a break bad. So just pray for me, man. I keep saying that, and I know y'all kind of like, man, this dude always saying he taking a break, and we putting out videos, but he don't be breaking either. So just know that, man.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching Protect Your Life. Keep your network popping. If you're fortunate enough to be doing life with someone else, make sure you watch this video with them. If they're not around, share it with them.
Diaries for black males, no mistakes, no emotions, blank pages, tip scales. And when the weight gets so heavy that you can't maintain the balance, and you want to speak the truth, but they would rather hear your silence, hold it in, black man, and please don't.